All right, everyone, we've got a huge slew of news today. We've got Canada elections, we've got Pierre Delecto, we've got Bernie Sanders and his 23,000 rally goers. I think we're going to start off, though, with Mitt Romney because it's the most funny story. Apparently, for some time, Mitt Romney had a second Twitter account that nobody knew about. And there's no pictures or anything there. And basically, it was under the title, it was under the name Pierre Delecto. Which is hilarious. Beyond your wildest dreams, you could never concoct such a cockamamie scheme. He had this account, just one Twitter account, not a bot army, not a bunch of staffers using a group of accounts, but a single account that he himself personally piloted in order to antagonize Trump and say crazy things about him, and in order to defend himself on his own tweets. So basically, if Mitt Romney, retweets something or whatever, people fall in who don't like him, and then Pierre Delecto shows up. It's actually Mitt Romney, but nobody knew this, and this was ironically broken by the legacy media. I think some political hack from the left-wing media, I think, figured out that this was the case. So a sitting senator, not a long-term senator or anything, a sitting senator operates an unidentifiable second Twitter account, shilling on his own material, attacking the president, the de facto leader of his own political party. Should he not resign or be removed by his fellow Republicans? If Trump were to do this, if Trump had a second account, I think he'd be number one in legal trouble because of federal court decisions. I would assume that those extend to other public figures, like Mitt Romney. Apparently that hasn't been differentiated yet. We'll see where that goes in court cases in the inevitable future. Number two, don't you think that people would say, what the hell is going on, and think he had lost his fucking mind? Mitt Romney has lost his damn mind, and it shows his boomerism, too. Like, the idea that one Twitter account is able to defend a person, why don't they just use their official account? At least if Mitt Romney gets in the trenches and is talking to people as Mitt Romney, he can say, look, I'm a senator with, a lot of fans, including a bunch of never-Trump Democrats. At the very least, he can say, among the never-Trumpers, he's quite popular. Hell, these people still want him to run for the presidency. Third time, though, is not a charm. Hillary Clinton is swiftly learning that as Tulsi Gabbard, who has about 2% support within the Democratic field, fundamentally cripples her the same way she did Kamala. Watching Kamala get shilled is funny still at this point, too. I think she might be more popular than Mitt Romney after this boils over. So I think that the big takeaway here, the username chosen, Pierre Delecto, is just hilarious. I'm not surprised, though, that Mitt Romney would think up this kind of scheme, because you got to understand he also believes that if he wears magical undergarments, that he gets kudos in the afterlife, and Elohim will grant him a never-ending bevy of big-breasted cosmic wives. So, I'd say he's not exactly operating with all of his circuits firing properly at this point. And I think the dude's, isn't he 72 or something? He's like Trump's age. Why are all these people in their 70s? Hell, Bernie Sanders is the only Democrat that's popular at the moment. He's pushing 80. That just shows how messed up that party's become. Mitt Romney's basically a Democrat in everything but name. I find it funny that more Republicans are pissed off at Trump, who's managed to correct the economy, make some good inroads in diplomacy. He's gotten the Republicans away from being the party most represented by warmongering. He's reformed, really, in some ways, the Republican Party. He's doing an okay job, which is more than the last two morons did, Obama and Bush. And people would rather piss and whine about Trump over taxes or Trump Tower or the Billy Bush tape and whine endlessly about that than address something like this that actually seems substantive. Here you've got a sitting senator bad-mouthing the leadership of his own fucking political party, and the party is just too cowardly, I guess, to do anything about it. It'd be fun. Trump should definitely refer to Mitt as Pierre from now on. That'll be very, very funny. That's good. Oh, it's going to be fodder for Trump jokes. I can't wait to see them. It's going to be great. But Mitt's been a loser all along anyway, hasn't he? Loses against Obama. The first time around, he doesn't even get the nomination in a race where, at the very least, he had decent qualifications. John McCain runs rings around him. Then when he finally gets in, he does even more poorly. He doesn't even campaign again for the last month of the election, or a month and a half rather, against Obama. He sort of disappears and gives up, even though he's got money. It's not that far apart. It's kind of close in some of the states. He probably could have done it with more effort, but I guess he decided that horses and bayonets and killing Big Bird was too much for him, and he decided to retire gracefully from the battlefield like the neocon he is. Have you ever noticed how these people always do that? Like, even when they're winning, they start getting afraid and then they self-sabotage. And if they're losing, they disappear, they get all glum and silent, and then they sort of, I think they'd rather pray to Jesus about loss and then, like, stroke their own egos about being divinely important. And it's good to be long-suffering, it's good to be a martyr, or some weird shit like that. Maybe it's because these people tend to pretend to be religious. And by the way, I do think that most of the time it's pretense. You think Bush regularly goes to church? Like Mitt Romney actually goes to the Mormon temple on a regular basis. No, he's nominally religious enough so that in case there's an afterlife, I want to make sure I get my slice of the pie, says Mitt, but I'm not going to invest too many dollars into it. Because, I've got my slice of the pie here and now. I'd rather drink some adrenochrome, maybe. Not getting conspiratorial, it's a joke, but, come on. Pierre Delecto, yeah. That's exactly what I would do if I were a sitting senator. I would waste my time on a sock puppet Twitter account, bad-mouthing the leader of my own party. And then when I get caught, I wouldn't even bother just trying to deny it. I would say, oh yeah, it's me. Yeah, sorry about that. I think he deleted the account. It's like, why bother? Why, to try to cover up all the weird shit you were saying? But you watch, he won't be removed from his position. People won't demand his removal even though he's a fucking embarrassment. He's a complete fucking embarrassment. He's trying to schism the Republican Party the way the Democrats are currently imploding. Not having a lot of success, but he's really, he's a never-Trumper. He's really not interested in the Republican agenda, which has become more populistic. He wants the Bush agenda. Well, Bush is basically a Democrat at this point. Why doesn't he just change the letter after his name and at least be honest with the people who voted for him? That's about all. Peace out.